right, welcome to the next episode of You Ask 502. I'm your host, Ryan Kleber. Joining me today is our guest, Robert Pawley.
Hey, nice to be here. Thank you.
So I had to write all this down because your story is a little bit different than most people. So before joining the local, you served as an officer for the Louisville Metro,
Mm-hmm.
and then you came to us 7 years ago. I remember when you applied. I thought that dude's going to be good. So it not only changed your career, but your whole entire lifestyle. And then going back further, you studied kinesiology, that's that right? At Morehead State. You bring over 15 years of gym experience, 10 years of coaching, multiple bodybuilding competitions to the table. You're now an online nutrition coach, a personal trainer with MindBodyPhysio, helping bridge the gap between physical performance, nutrition, and real life. And of course, on top of all that, husband, father. So he's got a lot going on. Welcome to the show, sir.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, man. So obviously, you can see this gentleman's physique. He doesn't play games. He kind of knows what to do. Lay it on us.
Yeah, been in it for a while now. Really just the point of this, I really just, reached out to Ryan. Like I said, we go pretty far back. Just two guys essentially want to talk about balancing busy work life, being dads, parents in general, in the trade, and just mitigating stress. And I just want to provide as much information. I'm sure, Rhino's going to have a lot of great info as well. But just providing information on, what's going to be best for your lifestyle, what's worked best for me, why I made my career changes, anything in the weeds when it comes to all that, health supplements, and just I want to give the right message at the right time. It's the new year, 2026, and just hopefully you guys can take away a little bit of this information and utilize it in your own life to have better quality of life.
Well, 'tis the season to be getting in shape. So this is the season the time of the year that every gym membership just really, starts drooling about because they know they're going to get, an extra 10x people. Before we went into that, so I just kind of wanted to touch a little bit on the law enforcement. So 7 years, you're 7 years as a law enforcement officer, right?
I got in the local 7 years ago.
7 years?
Yeah, I was in for about 2 years.
Gotcha. Okay. So why originally, and then why did you start questioning that path?
My heart was always to serve my community, whether now it's online nutrition coaching, just seeing people become healthier, get up and down off the ground easier, have more energy throughout the day. That's just always where my heart's been, and at a physical level as well, literally protecting the community and just providing that service. So I've just always been someone that wants to do for others. That's just where my heart was. The switch came with kind of what we're going to talk about, just the crazy, stressful lifestyle that it was. It kind of makes me sound like a wuss, and I'm totally okay with that. I have the utmost respect for all first responders, and I love working with them as well. But, we were forced overtime every single day pretty much, 16-hour shifts, an hour drive just, to wherever I was going that day, and trying to balance that, being married, planning on having kids, honestly very underpaid, just needed a different career path. Was a decent welder in high school. That's something I didn't tell you about. Okay. I was part of American Welding Society. I was in Skills USA, all that fun stuff. I competed in districts, won that, competed in state, won state in welding, and then I went to nationals in, what was that, St. Louis, Missouri, I believe?
No shit.
Or not, yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. But so the big switch was I need adequate sleep. I need, a healthy life. I want to be around for a long time. And I was just developing really negative habits that were detrimental to my health, detrimental to my religion, and detrimental to my marriage. None of that was good. Surprisingly, being a first year getting into the local 502, I was actually making 43 cents more an hour as a first year than I was as an officer.
I remember us talking about that.
Yeah.
We were like, can you take this pay cut? And you were like, I think it's a pay raise.
Yeah,
so, well, that and, 7 years ago, it wasn't the best time to be in the police force.
Rough times for sure.
Really don't get a lot of respect as a cop, and there are some who don't deserve it, but most of these guys, men and women, are working their ass off. And the type of people they have to deal with every day. And I just know from my brother-in-law used to be a cop down in Bowling Green, and he loved it too, but he's just constant, he's like, you don't deal with the pillars of society, you deal with the low ends of society, and he said it's very rough every day. Then you take that home, and you see someone dead, and you got to explain to your wife that you've seen a rotting body. Yeah. And it's a smell that doesn't smell it one time and it doesn't go away. That's not fake in the movies.
Yeah, the sights, the stress. I have stories now I can tell, and they're easier told, but without getting too political, just the justice system behind decisions that were made was frustrating as well, and where my morals are, where my heart's at, and I was in it, I feel like for the right thing, truly to help brothers and sisters out there, and to provide a better life for everybody, and community safety. I just feel like a lot of that, your hands are tied behind your back the whole time. You're hated for it. I mean, just so much hate. So, and I'm a very big people pleaser. I want people to like me, and so I just had to make that switch, and it was for the better. I mean, I thank God every day for hearing this radio ad for the 502.
So great. Your dad was in though.
Yeah, he was.
He had already been in because he come to me. I think he was welder for maybe Nucor or something, but I don't know, we ended up talking, and he, kind of gave us his background, and we got him a weld assessment, and I think he knocked those out of the park, and I think he went to work pretty soon after that. But
yeah.
But Joe's a good dude. Is he healthy, right?
Yeah,
He had shoulder surgery not too long ago. I guess it might have been a couple years ago now, right?
Yeah, it's been several years.
Okay.
Both shoulders had rotator cuff and labrum surgery on each shoulder, and but working at Globe now, I believe, doing well, just chasing the money, all that fun stuff that the trade provides. But blessed, as a father, he gave me the skills in high school because he was my vocational teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he kind of pushed me that way. I didn't listen entirely. I got one of those big $10,000 checks to go to a trade school on like a scholarship,
right?
And I didn't take it, which was probably for the better. But that's when I studied kinesiology and all that fun stuff. But can't regret that either.
I would like to dive into that later, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm down to talk about it. But I don't think college is for everybody. I certainly was getting tired of it as well, but can't regret that. It's where I met my wife. So there's paths that we all choose. I think we choose them for a reason down the long run, and you can learn a lot from it.
Well, college can't be for everyone, because if it's so, then no one would build the hospitals, everything. Everything we're in right now, the distilleries, the powerhouses. Someone has to do that.
Yeah.
So, it's nice that we get handsomely rewarded. So.
Yeah, and that's what I think too. Coming from wanting to do a service for people in the officer aspect to doing a service for cities, for distilleries, food manufacturing plants, for hospitals to run, for people to go get treatment that they need. It starts with our hands, and that's such a powerful thing that I hope no one takes for granted that we do amazing work.
We do. We've seen some stuff. So before we segue out of the law enforcement, is there any stories you can share? Any fun nights, wild nights, car chases, Starsky and Hutch?
Man,
there's do the training day.
There's a couple for sure. We can talk about the academy, just getting the OC, which is like the active ingredient in pepper spray. It's a lot higher percentage there. That is the most excruciating experience of your life. Truly, it was miserable. It's all it's cracked up to be and more. But
I see crackheads walk right through that though.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true. But I guess one crazy story. Man, I have so many. I just don't know how.
I don't want to get you in trouble either. So I kind of off the cuff, but I just didn't know if there was something you remember that's like it was hilarious.
Well,
like a super trooper type day.
There's one little man that was extremely just drunk. He ended up being drunk. I thought he was on spice or some crazy hallucinogenic drug that was just out of this world. Yeah, spice was really big at the time when I was in. He was impenetrable, this guy was. You just couldn't tackle him. You couldn't bring him down. But he was a smaller guy, which was funny. When we initially got him handcuffed, tried to put him in a holding cell, he started taking bites out of his shoulder and was just literally taking chunks of flesh out. It's like spitting it on the ground. I was like, this guy is crazy. So we ended up having to put him in a suicide smock and put him in a safe room because he was banging his head on the concrete and on the glass, on the walls and stuff like that. So that's just one more mild story, because there's a lot of story about homeless people. A lot of times they're covered in their own feces and stuff like that, so you can get pretty nasty with it. But a lot of gloves we go through, and a lot of shots, a lot of immunizations after some entanglements. So yeah.
All right, so we'll segue that to some of the members we've worked with. Does anything carry over as far as obviously discipline, stress management? There are aspects to both. Deadlines you have to hit, which they're not so much life and death as the long. It's also very taxing.
Yeah.
On the mind and the body.
What carried over the most for me was time management, because very long hours worked. I wanted to balance. I did a bodybuilding show, working 16-hour shifts, trying to mitigate stress, trying to sleep, which sleep was at the time the worst part about my life, and something that's extremely crucial. It's like the number one health regimen that you can do. But at the time, I put sleep on the back burner to focus on the show. So I was meal prepping, eating 6 meals a day, working 16-hour shifts, night shift I was on second shift to third shift. So it was 2 p.m., I believe, to 7 a.m. And so time management was the biggest thing I learned, and something I could carry over. Because at the time, when I switched over, I was like, man, if I could do this and do a bodybuilding prep and win a show, there's no schedule that I could have that I'm not able to continue to balance life.
That's true.
Training, being there. So,
as David Goggins always say, you're not tired, you're just undisciplined.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
and it's not fun, but you could do it if you wanted to.
100%.
So it's not always the best. So, all right. So what's kind of like working like for you? Because obviously you're a physical guy, great shape.
Appreciate it.
I'd say, going up and down ladders is a little bit easier than most people. A lot of people who don't take care of themselves. And I hate to, throw shade on the body, but that's just, some guys, their 12-ounce curls is about the biggest workout they're going to get at night.
Exactly.
And, having to squat down and stand back up is like an act of Congress for some people. So.
Right. And don't put a tool on the ground because they're not going to pick it back up.
I've been mother half numerous times. His slot in the tripod is for that. He goes, I only got one of my favorite journeymen ever, Charlie Porter, like a father to me. He was like, Rhino, there's only so many bend overs in your body. He said, now I've used up half of them, picking his effing
That's so good you said
bandsaw
that.
up and down. I'm like, he goes, put it in the fucking slot. I'm like,
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. It's so good you mentioned that because I've heard that before from Pat Young.
Okay.
He was a great foreman back in the day, and he was fun to work with, but he had kind of said the same thing. There's only so many bend downs you have, so many steps you have, X, Y, and Z. But contradictory to that, the more you bend down, the more you actually do those things, the more steps you take, the more you run, etc., you actually have more in the long run. Completely contradictory to what would seem to make sense. Like, yeah, truly, you should only have X amount of bend down pickups until you just drop or whatever the case is. But I get that old school mindset because efficiency, keeping things simple at work, that is probably for the best. The more you do it outside of work, it becomes easier at work.
Yeah. And there a case can be made for kind of like compound interest. You know what I mean? Like if you're not working on it, then there are, if you're not working on it, investing your money, then you do only have a finite amount. And when it's gone, it's gone. But the more you do it, the more you invest, the more it grows, the more you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The body's the same way. That's a little analogy I like to use. I don't know if it's true or not, but it sounds good.
Hey, that's something you can teach me after the show as well. I'd like to get into that.
So we work long hours, like I said, swing shifts, overtime, kid schedules. A lot of people struggle with, I'd love to go work out in the morning, but daycare opens at 6, so I got to get the kids there by 6, so I can be at work by 7. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff. Like you almost have to schedule time for it.
Yeah.
So it's discipline, not motivation, because I'm never motivated to get up in the morning, but I've trained myself to literally feel like a piece of shit if I don't. Like the guilt I have, if I get up and I try to snooze, I won't go to sleep. I'll just lay there and get up, and then I finally get up. So, and a lot of prep goes to that. You want to make sure you go to bed at enough time that way you're never, compromised in the morning. It's rough, it's tough. Yeah,
it's not easy to develop these different, habitual patterns that we have made over the years. You're essentially resetting what you've been doing for years.
Yeah.
I mean, you're completely going against the grain, essentially. We've become complacent. Complacency is very dangerous. I mean, the more money you make, the less drive that there is, essentially. Like, I found myself as well, I've never been on my P's and Q's, but when I was broke, college student, working 3 jobs, I mean, that's when I was on point with nutrition, training, everything, because that's I feel like that's all I had. But the more comfortable I've gotten in this trade, the more money I've made, the more, I know my wife's happy home with the son, the more complacent I got because I was just happy.
There's more reason to celebrate. Let's go out to eat tonight.
Yeah.
Let's do some stuff. Let's have a drink. Let's,
Yeah, exactly.
More friends. I mean, how many members in their families? Let's go to a pool party. Let's, there's always something. So, when you're a kid or you're, like you said, grinding, you're kind of in a box. You know what I mean? I'm sure the money's not a whole lot, too. So it's like, you are meal prepping because
it's
how can I get all these macros in with, just a little bit of money.
With $90.
Right.
Literally $90. Yeah. So, and that's something else we can talk about, that the thought that healthier food is unaffordable or far too expensive to do. And it of course, it looks a lot better on, the receipt. A bag of chips costs $1.50. A pack of chicken costs $15. So I get it in a sense, but that bag of chicken or that pack of chicken is going to go a lot further, create a lot more meals if you break it down per meal.
I know people will say that, and I push back on it because it's just like, you know what I mean? That's like saying, well, I can get the same skilled labor from Labor World than I can from Local 502 because it's cheaper. It's like, no, it's not. It's two completely different things. Like the macros and the micros are completely different.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it'd be the micros, yeah, because that's the more, what the macros is how much, and the micros, yeah. So either way, you're getting a better product.
Right, exactly.
And you are going to pay more for it, but you're going to go a lot longer with that product, and you're going to feel better with that product as opposed to a bag of chips that your body uses up in 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Spikes your insulin, you know what I mean, then you're even more hungry later.
Induces more cravings, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
You crave more sugar.
Well, then it causes the crash as well, and that crash is what's going to bring that.
So then you follow it up with a Coke or you know, a Red Bull, and it's like...
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, it's a vicious cycle as well. So, and that's what's so important about, you know, a good nightly regimen, a good morning regimen, and that's something we'll probably bring up here in a second. But
no, we talk.
Yeah, I mean, just baby steps, I think, is the best to developing this new lifestyle. It doesn't have to be the entire kitchen sink because that leads to fatigue. That's going to lead to people just quitting right off the bat. I'm going to go from, you know, one meal a day. That's probably 4,000 calories at Taco Bell. That's, you know, $40 worth of Taco Bell now because fast food is not cheap anymore. It used to be the cheaper option. It used to be something quick, boom, boom, boom. You spent $8, you got a bunch of food. Now it's like $25, $30 for, you know, a bigger individual.
It used to be real food too. There was a time. Now, I mean, it was always, you know, kind of sussed as far as, you know, health wise. You know, back in the day, McDonald's used beef tallow. I mean, you know, now it's hydrogenized oils, and you know, and my son worked at Taco Bell. He's like, it's powder. They get wet.
He was in behind the lines.
Yeah, he's like for a while it's hard to tell what is refried beans and beef until it finally kind of like, you know, juices up. I mean, it's pretty ornery. He's like, I don't ever eat. Yeah, he's like, because before I like bring me on a taco, he's like, you don't want this shit.
No, heck no. I mean, flexibility once every 2 weeks, once a week, and learning to stop at the point of like satiety or just, you know, satiation, being full. It's really important to learn. But like I was saying, you know, not throwing the whole kitchen sink at it, baby steps along the way, whether that's just cutting out the large sweet tea every day. That's step one. Yeah. Step two, a good night regimen. All devices, all screens, your phone, put on do not disturb at, I don't know, 8:30. Hang out with the fam. You know, hang out with a buddy. Whatever the case is, just don't get lost in politics on social media. That's a stressor. Don't get lost on even like your favorite show, your favorite movie. Don't realize that is a stressor because that suspenseful movie, that good movie is hyping you up. It's stressing you out. Like, what's going to happen?
She hates watching anything with any kind of tension in it before bed.
Yeah, it does not lead to good sleep.
We watch Friends front to back probably 1,000 times.
Ours is The Office.
So the point, like where I'm laying in bed, like sometimes when it's on, which we don't always do this, like there's a mirror there, so now I watch it in the mirror and watch it backwards. Just I'm like, all right, it's a new view. You know what I mean? It's like a new way. Yeah. It's a new way to watch it. Like, all right, now I'm gonna watch it backwards.
Yeah, 100%. And just knowing that, you know, those small behavioral changes that we can make before bed is going to lead to better sleep. You're going to be able to wake up easier, and then a good morning routine as well. I mean, there's a lot of evidence out there, a lot of studies that show even just like the shock therapy of putting your face in a bowl of like ice water. Now that's getting crazy into the weeds, but a lot of like famous, you know, nutrition coaches, Scientologists about like the what happens essentially in the body. Like Dr. Andrew Huberman talks about.
He's great.
The cold exposure, the sunlight exposure in the morning, which we don't get a lot of the sunlight, I understand, because we're up at work before it comes up. But like a green tea, a little bit of cold water, cold shower, those things in the morning to get your day going. It's like having 50 cups of coffee and just hop in a cold shower for 5 minutes before work.
It's the endorphin release. They said it's comparable, like a cold plunge is comparable to like cocaine. Dopamine spike, and it lasts for a couple hours.
You know. Well, same with like coffee first thing in the morning. It's best to delay that. Cold exposure is going to be best for sustainable energy. Whereas like if you have caffeine right when you wake up, it actually depletes something in the body, requiring you to feel this like sense of fatigue, wanting you to have more caffeine. An hour later, it's best to wait 60 to 90 minutes after you wake up for that first cup of coffee. And these small changes that, again, this might be a little deep into the weeds, but the routines that you make, the small ones you make, even without like perfectly weighing out every meal, which I know sounds exhausting, that's not something you have to do. but just making small, healthy, habitual changes to your daily regimen can lead you down just a massive path of your goals, whether it just be healthy, your overall wellness, your joints feeling better, lowering bodily inflammation, energy, like everything. So, I could go on for hours about that.
And I try to drink water first thing in the morning too.
Yes.
It's like a big glass of water. Your brain loves it. Your brain's a sponge and it loves it. Eats it up. All right, say you don't have access to a kitchen, but just say you're just not one of these people who are going to do it, and you're like, screw this, I'm going to the gas station, I'm going to get fast food. What are some options for these people?
Yeah, it's funny you brought that up, because I have like an entire spreadsheet that I send out to clients of just hundreds of meals from different fast food joints, which I still say is last option, because fast food. You can get the grilled nuggets from Chick-fil-A. What is how clean is that chicken?
Right.
That's the problem there. But it's a better option for sure. On the go, you got to get some calories and a little bit of protein. Gas station, I'm going to sound like a complete psychopath if I forgot my lunch, if I forgot, whatever the case is. I'm a Dollar General guy. Okay. I run down to Dollar General. Sometimes I'll hit the gas station. I get the Chobani yogurts, the little cups. They're like, $2.50 or something. I can't remember exactly how much protein's in them, but they're 90 calories a piece. Maybe 8 grams of protein, nothing crazy. And then there's the containers or the bags you can buy of pre-boiled egg. They're terrible. They are terrible. We don't need this massive reward every single meal of food tasting like the best thing you've ever had. Like, set the ho-ho down. Forget the donut just because it came free with the cup of coffee you just bought. Get the eggs. They're going to satiate you longer. You're going to be fuller longer. It's going to help manage glucose levels as well, keeping protein moderate to moderately high on a daily basis, keeping protein at a good level, and of course manage healthy hormone output, everything.
So they just changed the food pyramid, which is fantastic. That's a whole other probably rabbit hole type podcast we can go down deep. Because that goes real deep there. They upped the protein. Yes. Was it like from 1.1 to 1.8 now per day or something? Before it was like 0.7 to 1.2. So we're cavemen essentially that have just evolved, and you ate what you could, kill something, cook it, eat it, and then you probably wouldn't eat again until you caught something else and killed it and eat it. So
exactly,
red meat's it, man. Fish or something like that,
Well, just keeping a sustainable amount of protein. Pure example, 30 to you can push it all the way up to like 50 grams per meal, and that the old, I guess, myth that you can have too much protein.
I think
completely debunked. You want to focus on digestion, but it's not like you can have so much to the point of like an infection or something crazy, whatever they were claiming before.
Or your body wouldn't use it; it would be wasted.
Right, it's never going to be wasted. Right. Yeah, it's definitely your body needs time to digest it. Some digestive enzymes are always good to take with it, or if you actually need it, or like probiotics, prebiotics, etc. And then a good fiber source, but keeping that baseline protein just moderate in each meal. Each meal is so important, because
it needs to be the star of the show.
Yeah, star of the show. And start with your protein first.
Yes.
Start with your protein, because that's the best way to do it. Because if by then, your protein fills you up, the carbs aren't looking, too great. Like, you're like, I don't feel like I need to eat the carbs. You can wolf it down, but it's not something that, now you're looking forward to like crazy, like you were 30 minutes before you started eating. It's going to help with, slowing digestion a little bit, not releasing so much glucose into the bloodstream. It's going to help the pancreas pump insulin at a, more level state, essentially.
It needs to be level.
Yeah, where it needs to be. Protein's like the most thermodynamic macro that your body can consume. So essentially, it takes more calories to break down to utilize protein in the body than it's going to do, with carbs, with fats, etc. So protein, it just as like a baseline in every single meal, like he said, needs to be the star of the show. And there's so many options. Everybody likes sirloin. Everybody likes filet mignon, grass-fed beef, chicken eggs. Some people even use duck eggs.
I never had a duck egg, I don't think.
Very fatty.
Oh, really?
Really rich. I don't know the actual, the huge benefits behind it, but people like Mike O'Hearn swear by them.
Okay.
That or quail eggs, one of the two. But I don't know.
Quail eggs are little, right?
Yeah, the real small ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember what. He swears by them. We can get into social media presence in the fitness industry and really dive deep there. And
I seen a guy eat an ostrich egg once. Fucking huge.
I've had ostrich egg in South Africa.
Really?
Yeah, at at an ostrich farm in South Africa.
How was it?
It was interesting. The egg white was essentially like the same. It's the yolks that change from like duck egg, quail egg to like an ostrich egg. Just very different, fattier. And of course, it is like the fat of the egg, but it's like a darker, prettier. I didn't finish it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, a chicken, it's like a small chicken,
Yeah.
It's like quail small, but you get like an ostrich. I mean,
Massive.
it feels like I'm eating like a dinosaur egg or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I also ate like ostrich fillet. I think they just called it ostrich fillet, but it was fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right. Good luck catching that son bitch. So meal prep. So what do you make if you do a meal prep? Say you're going to do a blue collar meal prep. Say, because it is a lot to just commit to doing something, just to complete jumping all in. So can you make like a big pot of protein chili? Can you, make, like some breakfast burritos? I used to do breakfast burritos and put a bunch of protein in it in the morning. You could make those in one Sunday and have, one or two every day for a whole week. They last, they freeze. It's really good. So.
Yeah, 100%. So with meal prepping, and I kind of steered away. I'm so bad about going off topic, so I apologize for that. But we were talking about like a Dollar General run, and then I'll talk about the meal prep.
Okay.
But if you do forget to meal prep, if you forgot your meals on the kitchen table that morning just because we're go, we hit snooze a little too many times, we forgot to pack our lunch, whatever the case is, they always have packs of tuna, which is, don't want to overdo. We don't have to get too far into that, but sardines, healthy fat source, decent little protein source, and then, chicken of the sea, salmon.
Yeah.
Get packs of salmon, 50 cents to $1 a pack. I think 17 grams of protein. Get you 2 or 3 of those with a couple packs of tuna.
And that's the farm salmon, so that's, like you said, that's going in the weeds there a little bit. But,
Yeah, exactly.
But it's good to pinch. It's better than the ho-ho or God knows whatever else.
Oh, and it's better than anything you're going to get at fast food. And usually Dollar Generals, they have a little produce section. Get you a pack of blueberries, extremely rich in fiber, antioxidants. Blueberries are just powerhouse.
Blueberries great, blackberries.
Yeah.
I think blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries, and strawberries are the three.
Strawberries are great.
Best, I guess, most nutritious fruit.
Yeah. Very nutritionally dense.
Strawberries also part of the Dirty 30. It actually absorbs the most pesticides, so you almost have to get organic. I've seen studies, and I've actually seen it done where, like, they'll soak them, dump it out, test the water, and it's full of glyphosate.
Oh, yeah.
Soak it again, dump the water, test it full of, you could, so many times, like, you could wash these things 20 times, and there's still traces of glyphosate in the water. So it's like they're like sponges.
Yeah. And now I didn't know that, so it's good to know. I had no idea. Yeah. So you learn something new every day.
There you go.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But avocados don't really have to be organic. I guess you want them to, but the skin is so, any kind of thing with a rind or like a tough skin, like they can't really get in. So as long as you just wash the rind real good before you cut into it, it shouldn't contaminate your stuff.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, great info there.
There you go.
So it is beneficial to get organic as much as you can. That's if FDA and everything's not lying to us and not using things that they're not supposed to use.
The appeal?
We have to appreciate their integrity as much as we can.
Yeah.
We'll see down the road. But as far as meal prep goes, I just prep in bulk. Whether it's a nice day, I got the grill going, I like to cook my chicken overnight, marinates, cook it on the grill. I'm a gas grill guy, don't judge me too hard. Just so much faster. I don't have the charcoal special touch, the magic that it requires. But
or even a smoker, that's a commitment. And it is delicious. When you eat it, you can tell the difference. But it's like, I want to eat now.
I'm a very quick, doesn't take a lot for me to just knock my food down anyway. Doesn't have to taste like I went to a 5-star restaurant. But so for me, 2 packs of chicken, which is 10 pounds.
Yeah.
About 10 pounds of chicken.
Yeah.
I get the 5 dozen, so I eat egg whites from Walmart. So I get the 5 dozen box, the big box.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be like $6.
Yeah.
Now it hopped up to like 24 and went back down to, I don't know, it's fairly cheap now. But, and you're looking at 15, so that's $30 for 2 packs of chicken, and then let's say $10, $12 for the box of eggs. So you're looking at $42, $45, and all my protein, I'm good.
Yeah.
So it's $45 for the whole week.
So what's your protein macro for the day? What's your macros for the day?
Right now, I honestly don't know. I'm kind of eating on feel just because I've done it for so long.
Right.
But for somebody my size, with the amount of tissue that I have,
It's just your height and your weight. A chart would say you're obese.
Right, 100%.
My eyes tell me something completely different. So I know a lot of it's bullshit. So
yeah. BMI is a little misleading, so it's hard to go off like the BMI calculators of where you're actually at. You know, obviously like calipers, or if you can afford like a DEXA scan or something like that. Or honestly,
Are those
visual
good?
DEXA scans.
Yeah, is that the one where you stand on and you like grab the handle and squeeze it?
No, that's that uses some electro pulse mechanism that
pretty accurate.
No, not for me, because you also put in your height and
Right.
weight, and I think it's kind of like a BMI mixed with what they think is this top-notch,
Right.
you know, device that's supposed to give your BMI, and usually like 30, which is like the biggest obesity,
Right.
you know, that you can be.
Right.
And it's not very accurate, but maybe for some it can be for the ideal specimen,
Mhm.
but not me. DEXA scans, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, it's the underwater where they...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the most accurate.
I got you.
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
so. Now that's going to come with a cost, but just visual representation, like take pictures of yourself, you know, having your own folder. to
Believe
see.
your eyes. Your eyes don't lie.
Dude, the eyes are the biggest thing, even as a coach. Like,
The mirror's the best thing.
100%.
'Cause it doesn't matter what you weigh. You're not competing. I'm
Yeah.
not wrestling. I don't have to make a freaking weight class. You know
No.
what I mean? Like, I just want to look good. Like, do my jeans fit? They didn't 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now they're great.
Yeah,
And,
like,
and it's not the 8th time I've worn them without washing them that they fit great. They
Yeah.
fit great out of the dryer. You know what I mean? So it's
100%.
like, I know I'm doing all right.
yeah, 100%. And that's a great metric too.
Yeah.
Just the different metrics of the clothes that you're wearing. Which belt loop am I in? How do my jeans fit? How's my shirt fit?
Yeah.
The jacket that was too tight, is it loose now?
Yeah.
Like, all that is super important, even from the hat that you wear, because your head
It's true.
essentially, I wouldn't say shrinks. I mean, you have fat on your skull.
You do.
If you're to the point of, you know, plus size for sure.
I got fat
So-
in my skull.
So those biofeedback markers are so much more important than just looking at like a BMI chart,
Yeah.
like you said. A lot more accurate. And as a coach, for somebody that becomes anxious because the scale's not moving, I'm going to tell them to step off the scale. Scale doesn't matter.
Right.
Like you said, you're not competing in powerlifting. You're not competing in anything that matters on how, you know, the scale looks. I want to look at your body, and I want to look at your labs. That's it. Yeah, labs are fantastic.
And we do a great lab over at the wellness
Yeah,
center.
the
Wellness center, because they don't do, I think if you just do a normal, like what our insurance covers, it's like 6 metrics they measure. You go over there and it's like 406. I mean,
Yeah.
when I get my blood work back, I mean, it's like pages of,
Yeah.
I mean, stuff that I got to Google. Like, what the hell's that even?
Yeah, good.
So it's good.
That's awesome.
They do great, and it's free 99.
Yeah.
So,
Can't be free. Everything tastes better when it's free, and everything
Yeah.
looks better when it's free. Yeah, to have that outlet as well. I mean, we really put ourselves in this trade. We put ourselves in a position with our contract to not work in, you know, crazy amount of hours, to have access to a wellness center that's free with their own pharmacy. We kind of give ourselves no excuse, and I'm not the guy that's
Thank
going to
you.
be like, no
Thank you.
excuse to everybody. Things happen. I will always understand that. I want everybody to understand that it's okay when things happen. Understandable.
I think people realize, or think, not assume, I guess would be the right word, is it's like I got to hit, you know, I got to bat 1,000 every day. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, you don't. You just got to play every day.
Yes.
That's it. Some days you suck. Some days you hit 200. Some days you hit 700.
Yes.
But as long as you're swinging the bat every single day, 400 gets you in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No one bats
yeah.
1,000. I mean, shit.
100%.
Like you can just, because again, the compound, you know, compound interest on working out. It's the consistency that adds up longer than the intensity. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you just try to go all off motivation intensity, 3 days you're like, man, I'm done. I'm sore. But it's like, no, I'll go. Maybe I won't do heavy lifts today. I'll do some stretch, and I'll do,
Yeah.
you know, which, you know, a lot of plyometric stuff, which I kind of got into, you know, started with the whole knees over toes guy. I kind of
Yeah,
started
yeah.
following him, and then I realized, hey, my knees feel great. And I started doing joints, and now I'm doing back, and it's just in hips, and I've never been more limber in my life. But either way, even if you're sore from a hard workout, you can still do that
Yeah,
and
100%.
invest in your body and, you know, in yourself, as
Yeah.
opposed to just feeling like you got to go hard every day.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So just
And-
going there is half the battle.
Yeah, and that leads to a good point. Like I tell a lot of clients, let's say you're eating, you know, let's say 5 meals a day, 7 days a week. That's 35 meals. If 2 of those meals were off, you know, you're still in the 90th percentile of the whole week. You know, whether you missed it or whether you kind of just cheat on your program a little bit, as long as you got those other 33 meals in and 2 of them were missed or off, you're still, I don't like you to do it.
Right.
You know, but that's okay. You know, no one's going to get onto you for it except for yourself. You know, so you're still 90% throughout your week. You're still doing great. That's amazing.
Crushing it.
Don't set yourself back, and don't throw an entire day away just because you woke up and you went to the gas station, got a coffee, and you're like, and that just the demons were talking.
Yeah.
You got that donut,
Yeah.
and they're like, well, I ate a donut, now my whole day is ruined.
Because then you're like, well, it's ruined, so I'll just go ahead and do this, and I'll start back tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of times you do, but it's like, yeah, but you don't want to feel like, all right, well, you know.
Well, you went from potentially having 33 great meals, you just missed 2, to a whole day. That's 5 meals. Now you're already down to 30.
Yeah.
You know, only 30 good meals throughout the week.
Yeah.
So your percentage of success essentially is dropping drastically every time you have to just reset your day. I'll restart tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's what New Year's resolution is.
Yeah.
Like, I'll start next year. By November hits, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. Once New Year's is over, we drink, we party, we this, we that. I'll restart next year. Now, I think I read something the other day, 75% of New Year's resolutioners have already quit.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it just breaks my heart. It truly does, because I know the feeling. I've been there. You know, I've been in the game a long time.
Yeah.
You will always find a reason to reset and restart. And so you'll never officially develop those habits and get on track. And that's just what we want to try to do, what we want to provide to you guys. Is the best way to stay on is to just believe in yourself. Potentially, I'm not even talking about myself or anybody I know, hiring a coach out that goodness gracious, to have the outside objective perspective on what you're doing, to keep you calm down, to reduce your stress, to help you get through the emotional eating, the background noise of cravings, all that stuff, and to let you know you're doing good. And when you try to do it on your own, for some people, you dig yourself into a deeper hole. You throw the whole kitchen sink at it, 500 calories a day, or you just keep pushing yourself off. I'll wait till next month now, because we're halfway through January.
Well, I don't want to start because, you know, football every weekend. So after the Super Bowl, there's nothing. And it's like, well, you know, the NCAA started after March Madness. Well, you know, and it's like, well, it's summertime.
Exactly. And now, like, your summer cut that you were wanting to do to look good for the summer, now you're already in it, and you're like, well, shoot, you know, I missed this window, I'll just get it next year.
Yeah. Or you try to, you know, correct. It's just, you know, leads to even worse.
Caffeine pills and laxatives.
And that'd probably the safest one. Then you can do other stuff too. So.
Yeah, 100%.
What's your sleep regimen?
So sleep regimen, we can talk supplements, but for me, like, do not disturb, essentially. I let it slide sometimes, but I try to be as habitual about it as possible. After 9 p.m., no phones, 0 phone. After 10 p.m., no TV, no TV at all. I sleep with my phone on the opposite side of the room, so I don't have the excuse of snoozing it in the morning. That's like the worst thing I could possibly do, because I will snooze it unless I get up out of bed, it's cold.
Do you work out in the morning?
I do cardio. I don't train.
So you're twice a day then?
Yeah.
Okay.
But along with that, I do peppermint tea, dandelion root tea, digestion, a little bit of like calmness with the warmth that it brings. I'm also a thermos at night. I get really hot, so I use magnesium glycinate and I use glycine. Because the benefits of glycine it helps regulate body temperature, and it drops overall body temperature to put your body in a more, I guess, comfortable state to sleep. And I notice when I do take it, and I notice when I don't. So
we go subarctic at night too.
What is it?
We go subarctic at night.
Oh, dude,
I'll turn it down to
65.
67 degrees.
Yeah.
Actually, it's 67. I thought it was going to be obnoxious.
Yeah.
I said 68.
No,
67 degrees, and like the kids are like, what the F? And like, or what have, you know, like in-laws stay over, and it's like, we brought sweaters tonight because, you know, all the rooms are upstairs. I mean, it goes.
My mom knows. She can't stay at the house anymore. She knows that.
Like, it's cold up here.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And I don't know the exact facts behind it. I'm just going to throw something out there. Let's say the best temperature for REM sleep, which is like actual deep, like, I had a dream last night, that crazy feeling. I had a dream, you know, that REM sleep where you're in a deep slumber of like the best sleep and recovery. I think the temperature that's best for that was 66, I want to say, or something like that.
Dropping the thermostat again tonight.
Huberman talked about it. Look it up through there. That could be off by a couple degrees. So we definitely keep it in the 60s, because I'm a very high-strung, stressful person. I always have been, unfortunately, so that helps wind me down.
Do you take a lot of stimulants through the day?
No, I actually completely, I went to a no-stim pre-workout because it carries over for me like crazy. I just do like a pump formula.
So you get a tingle without the caffeine. What's the stuff that makes your face red?
I don't do that either.
But what's that called?
Beta-alanine.
Beta-alanine.
Yeah. Beta-alanine. That's the itchy, crawling
Not that feeling.
pre-workout.
Yes.
Back when I powerlifted, that was the goat. That and sniffing salts. But
I haven't done the salts yet.
Should have hit one before the podcast.
Well, I thought that. I don't want to rip off Joe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that does look like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's.
I'm not gonna lie.
It wakes you up. I mean, you go down to Swift with me on the weekends, you'll smell that ammonia leak. You'll get a good taste of it.
If you're lucky, that's what you smell.
Yeah,
but it smells like money, is what they would say.
It's the smell of money. I tell my wife that every day I get home. She hates it, but I love it.
She's like, "Look at money outside."
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But so that's essentially my night routine. And if I'm feeling like extra stressed, just losing a loved one, anything financially, just anything happened at all, bump the ashwagandha up a little bit, maybe 2 scoops of magnesium, and then GABA and melatonin paired together as well. There's also a supplement called Relax Liposomal. It's a GABA, melatonin, and I can't remember exactly what else was in it. It's a dropper that's like highly absorbable under the tongue.
You see
take that before bed.
Before bedtime?
Yeah. Actually, it's better to take those supplements
probably before bed, right?
Yeah, I was going to say like 7.
Okay.
Yeah, really wind you down to where like when 9 o'clock hits, you're like, I don't know if I can watch this episode of Friends,
Right.
And then halfway through it, you're going out. That's kind of where you want to be if the TV's on.
That's where I want to be, for sure.
100%.
We've been reading a lot more at night, which is...
That is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's really good just to keep the stimulants of lights, exciting events on a TV show, a ball game, keep that at bay, and then just it's like exercise for your eyes. Essentially, they get heavy quick.
They do.
Yeah. So and that just really helps put you to sleep. Yeah. I wish I did that more, but I never was a big reader. I'm so weird. I will read studies on supplements and how that interacts in the body before I could read like a nonfiction or fiction. Yeah. Like, so weird.
It's crazy. I used to read all the time as a kid, and then I went decades without it. Yeah. And, my wife is a huge, she's in book clubs.
Oh, good for her.
So she's like, you gotta read this book. So it's like, and it's pretty good.
I highly recommend it. I mean, I recommend it to most everybody, and I recommend...
It's good for vocabulary, too. It's good, it kind of keeps you sharp. And
good diction. Yeah, really good. I don't like to read, but I love vocabulary.
Yeah.
It's so random. My wife and I'm like, hey, how do you spell whatever it is? Onomatopoeia. Okay. I'm always testing her because I learned something new today.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Right.
But shoot, I had a point and it just left me. Darn it. The words got me there.
Onomatopoeia do that.
Yeah, it'll come back.
It'll come roaring back. All right, this is the controversial one here.
I love it.
Alcohol.
If you want my honest, wholehearted opinion, and something I learned myself, is zero. Never, ever, makes no sense. Zero benefit. I don't care what you read about the yeast in beer. I don't care what you read about the antihistamines, the vasodilation possibly, or the blood thinning, or red wine, dry wet red wine, 1 glass a day or 1 glass a week, whatever it is. I don't care what you read. To me, personally, the more in depth you go, even with fertility and with men, like it carries during that time. Like if you're trying, it can carry into, the process essentially and cause issues down the road. Months out in advance. It sticks in your body longer than people imagine.
Oh, it does.
And it's poison, honestly. Not a fan, and you spend way too much money on it. Huge problem with a lot of guys at work. They show interest in not only working with me, but just wanting to be healthier, wanting to be fit. But and I always hear it's too expensive. I'm like, brother or sister, look up your bar tab. Look, every day, like after work, you're telling me you go home, you're getting a 6-pack on the way home.
Yeah.
Or you drank a 6-pack watching the game last night. It's, college football playoffs right now. You're drinking every other night. NFL playoffs. You're drinking watching NFL games. And that's another thing where in that time of sedentary living, sitting down, doing nothing, watching a game, put the game on while you're meal prepping. Be productive. You're not productive if you're drinking wine, drinking liquor, a glass of whiskey, whatever it is, just watching the game. If you need to get something done, if you need to work on your finances, you need to work on this and that, like always work towards a betterment so the next day, like those stressors are gone. Like I know I said I stress a lot. I bring that onto myself. I want my wife to stay home with the kid full time, like she doesn't work anymore. And that's the decision I wanted to make. The stress doesn't come from finances. The stress doesn't come from how do I look in the mirror? How do I feel? Food is too expensive. Like I told my wife, we will live modestly. We'll live in a small house that we can afford. We can heat. We can, keep cool in the winter, keep hot in the summer, vice versa. Focus on our health above all because that's most important. And I don't want the stress of not having my meals prepped because the night before I was staying up watching the game, drinking beer. I slept in, missed my morning cardio because I'm inflamed, my gut hurts, woke up a couple times throughout the night, had to use the bathroom. There's no benefit. There's no benefit. Zero.
Yeah. You could argue the social benefit because that's good for the dopamine and natural just feeling, but again, surely you could have a conversation with someone without drinking. But it is easier. It's a social lubricant. Moderation is the key with everything.
Yes, moderation is very good. And you had a great point, the social aspect. Yeah. When it comes to a weekly thing, should never do it. It shouldn't even be, a thought when it comes to like wanting to change how you feel, how you live, how you eat, etc. But the social aspect of it, like, yes, the 502 picnic, I had a couple drinks for sure. So I'm going to sound a little
you're just talking about general day-to-day life. But
general
special
day-to-day
occasion,
life.
You should be able to go out. But I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But it's literally, for me, it's like once every 6 months. I mean,
because other than there's nothing beneficial.
No, and so. I'm so in tune with digestion. It throws digestion off. It throws sleep off. Yeah, and you think it's very.
It'll help you go to sleep, but you won't stay asleep. You'll never hit the REM.
No, you never have good REM sleep. You're probably sweating in your sleep. Your digestive tract's all off. Your hormones are now shot. It's not good sleep, and you think it is. And when I was an officer, 16-hour shifts, I thought a glass of Buffalo Trace was the way to go for bed, and you're so stressed, take the thoughts away. I learned from failure over the last, 15 years on almost everything. And, of course, learning kinesiology and how the body works, all that stuff. That was the appropriate way to learn things. But I learned a lot through failure, a lot. And alcohol was one of them as well. Never got to the point of addiction and itchy and gotta have a drink. But,
right. But like you said, it's when you're a social person and you take that aspect away, it is hard to kind of, without work, try to mingle and, especially if that was your whole vibe forever. You know what I mean? To try to all of a sudden turn that off and it's like, be socially awkward a little bit, kind of.
Yeah.
So.
And I will say now that I've completely talked terribly about it and it's poison, there's better choices as well.
True.
Dry red is better than Welch's grapefruit juice, essentially, which is like the really sweet wines. As far as like maintaining, not having your pancreas pump tons of insulin to keep up with, the glucose in the bloodstream. And then also, instead of like a rich cocktail full of sugar and everything else, a diet tequila mix of some sort.
That's the bodybuilder thing. Tequila. Always go clear. Tequila, good tequila with a little bit of lime or, vodka cranberries.
Yeah.
See how the muscle heads get.
It's a lot easier to maintain like healthier glucose levels on tequila. More natural supplement.
It processes the agave way better.
Yeah, it keeps digestion close to what it was, obviously, in moderation.
Is that soluble? Is that the right word I'm looking for? It's more soluble, like your body can use it better than like corn and mash.
Yeah, probably, It's definitely a better choice. Again, though, for me, and what I would recommend, once a month, go for it, enjoy. After that, let's get back on. Yeah.
Fair enough. We just lost half the audience on that one.
Sorry, everybody. Truth hurts.
You had a lot of good points here we want to talk about. So stress, cortisol, I guess we kind of hit that a little bit. Motivation versus discipline, that's good. What are you taking any kind of supplements, anything like that, or is there anything else you want to hit before we get into the supplement train? I want to talk about peptides too, so I know we'll get to that eventually.
Yeah, supplements for me, we could talk about like the top 5 that I always recommend for everybody. And what I do myself, the list is probably too long. I mean, I could go along with the sleep supplements, the ashwagandha, magnesium, glycine. Some people use magnesium citrate.
You creatine too, right?
Creatine for sure. That's on my top 5.
What brands you use? I like Thorne. Thorne's a pretty good brand, but I know there's probably better than that. But
there's so honestly, the supplement industry got a really harsh look because there are some you have to be wary of. There are definitely some supplement companies that aren't third-party tested. As long as it's third-party tested, that's
the key. It's like you see an athlete get popped for something every now and then, and it's like, dude, I've been taking this. I'm
taking muscle milk.
But the vats aren't being cleaned, really. Like you have to steam it and clean. You can't have, something with testosterone, in a vat, and you just because it's empty, you spray it down one time, and then all of a sudden you put a new product in there. Traces are going to be there, and that's what's showing up.
Yes,
and it's I would like to think that because some of these guys don't look like they have that much testosterone. You know what I mean? They don't look like you. We're talking about like runners and stuff like that.
Right. Be surprised what runners do now.
That's true. PO is the one for them, right? That's the one that your energy.
But third party tested for for, efficacy, purity, etc. And then the dosing as well. Familiarize yourself with proper dosing. I think at least, if we want to talk like creatine specifically, at least 5 grams a day for everybody.
So that's one scoop.
Everybody.
It's great for women too.
It's fantastic for women.
I think there's other studies out there where it's good for menopause for women too.
It's great.
It helps,
Yeah, and especially with the cognitive decline that happens postmenopause for women especially. It happens at a faster rate usually in women than it does men. It's fantastic for, memory recall. It's really good for declining, I guess, like essentially leading towards that like Alzheimer's. It's delayed the onset of like dementia, Alzheimer's, stuff like that. And then of course when it comes to retaining healthy muscle tissue, really important for that. Keeping the cells, the muscular cells in the body, keeping the overall cells
it's a great
hydrated.
I had to talk these guys into it.
I don't know why you wouldn't take it.
Eric back when he was here, or even Scott, I'm like, Scott's boys are freaking giants, and I'm like, you put them on creatine? He's like, I don't know about creatine. I'm like, dude. And then, Eric with his son, he's like, I think we need more studies. I'm like, we got like 8 decades of studies. I mean, this is the most proven.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is the most proven, like, health supplement. It's been studied the most as well. It's like the godfather of all supplements that back in the day all the bodybuilders were using, but then it was like ostracized in community for like causing kidney damage and all this stuff. That has all been 100% like shot down, disproven.
He was the first one to get the ivermectin treatment. He was like, this is poison.
Right, exactly.
Well, it's kind of proven to work pretty well.
Yeah, now it's all coming out that it works.
And a lot of stuff.
Yeah, 100%. So creatine monohydrate, very important, safe for all, pretty much. If you want to wait till your kid can obviously make their own choices, 18 and over, safe for everybody. 90% sure everything that I've ever read and everything that's ever been studied is safe for all ages. It really is.
I don't know why you give a baby, but you know what I mean?
No infant, obviously. Right. Yeah. Don't put it in their formula. But you want an NFL player to take care of you.
Child prodigy going on right now, yeah.
But, so it's a fantastic supplement. And again, even it has a super fun effect. And I've done it myself, which if you overdo it, the only like feeling you get that I guess would be like a negative feeling, little bubble gut if you take like a super physiological dose. So like one time I took 20 grams just right off the bat because I slept for like 2 hours, new dad life, just had a kid. And he was up all night, I was up all night, and 2 hours of sleep, really dragging at work. Around 10 a.m. I took 20 grams of creatine, which is 4 scoops. Bubble gut like crazy. Yep. Well, I'll be honest with you, a little indigestion there, but it has an awakening.
It does.
Neurological benefit to it. So it woke me up with sustainable energy throughout the day, and to where I actually went to the gym that afternoon and actually felt decent. Like I felt like I had a decent night of sleep. Yeah. Knowing, you can't do that every day.
That's a one-off.
That's a one.
Maybe a 2-off, but they can't
once a month type thing. You don't do that often. But it has that benefit as well. So it just kind of explains like some of the benefits behind it.
How many scoops do you take a day?
I take 2.
Okay.
I take 10 grams a day.
Because, if you listen to like Rhonda Patrick and stuff like that, she's like 20s. Where people should be. Yeah.
I was doing there for a while.
I think you got to wean yourself up on that, though.
Yeah, exactly. I was doing 2 in the morning after fasted cardio, and then I was doing 2 scoops, so 20 grams a day during training.
I was doing sleep?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, just great recovery. I typically take the 2 scoops during my training.
Post-workout? During your training.
Yeah, yeah. I try to keep everything peri-workout, so like in my training or around it, pre or post, amino acids, EAAs, essential amino acids.
I do perfect aminos before I work out in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
They're really good. From what I've heard, I've read a lot of studies on them.
No, they're pretty good. NutriBio, really, really good.
I've heard of them too. That's good.
Yeah,
yep.
Really good stuff. Core Nutritionals, fantastic supplement company, New Ethics. They're absolutely amazing when it comes to everything health related. That's where you get your relaxed liposomal for like good sleep at night. They also have creatine, everything else, amino acids. There's so many companies I could probably list off here, but like he was saying though, like which ones are good, just look for ones that have been third party tested, because that is like open forum. You can find the testing and know exactly what's in it, and then also the dosing. So just look up what sex you are needs, and then maybe around your body type, or like how big you are, how much you should use. So let's say I get up to 20 grams a day of creatine, and I cardio in the morning, training in the afternoon. I need a lot of recovery. I like to, feel full. I like to be hydrated and everything working as efficiently as possible. For somebody that trains maybe 3 times a week, which is totally fine, I would just recommend 5 grams a day.
Yeah.
Great for recovering just overall.
It's a good baseline.
Yeah, really good health benefits down the road. So along with that, just a high quality protein powder if you choose the protein powder route. Again,
you do the grass-fed. That's what I always try to find, the grass-fed protein powder. Because soy protein, they're proving it's like trash.
Well, yeah.
Plant protein's not really good either.
Well,
unless it's pea proteins.
Well, they found a lot of this just came up lately. Lane, forget his last name. I don't know if he has his MD. Regardless, they found a lot of studies that the amount of lead in plant-based, specifically those proteins, there's a lot of lead. So let's say you're taking like 4 scoops of plant-based protein a day, probably not very good for you, not going to be very beneficial because of the lead aspect of it. And that's because of the agricultural like spraying and stuff coming from the ground that's been there for years and years and years. They're using that obviously to make the protein, the soy, the peas, whatever else they use for plant protein bases. So now when it comes to like lead being found in a whey iso derivative, that is going to be a lot lower, way under the healthy FDA recommended threshold that plant-based protein can give you. So I would definitely stick, as long as digestion as well, with a high quality whey iso. And then there's like casein, which is a slower digesting one. Then there's whey proteins that aren't just the isolate. They're paired with amino acid profiles. Well, I mean, you're going to get that anyway, but maybe some carbohydrate sources. They're more like an MRE, like a meal replacement type thing. But again, depending on your digestion, time of day, how fast it needs to be, what your goals of that meal are. Typically, I'd stick with the iso, easier on the stomach, and then just add your fats to it, make it a shake. Berries, fats, throw a banana in there. Tastes amazing. It's like you went to a protein shack. Exactly.
Smoothie's the best ever. You can't get.
It's the best thing ever. And it's so quick. Make it the night before. Boom, breakfast on the way to work. You're done.
You do the overnight oats? You like those?
My wife and I had that conversation the other night. I don't currently. Okay. I have in the past, because you can get super creative with it.
You can.
And
I've never done
really
it.
Good.
I've thought about it.
My wife doesn't like it because of the texture.
Yeah, it is kind of like...
Well, if you make it like a pudding...
It's like a cold oatmeal.
Yeah.
Or tapioca pudding.
Yeah. Like a tapioca.
Chunks in it.
But if you ground your oats down and do it like that, it's more of a pudding base
like
without the chunks.
Processor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do it with my coffee grinder.
Okay.
And just,
All right.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
I've been in the game. Coffee grinder for everything.
You have been in the game.
I got a lot of cheap. That's how I make my cream of rice. I just, instead of buying a $4 box of cream of rice, this goes back to making stuff cheap.
Yeah.
For meal prepping, I buy a 20-pound bag of jasmine rice, and I grind my own rice down to make my cream of rice, and that $10 bag of jasmine rice lasts me 2 years for cream of rice. Okay. So easy digestible, super quick in the microwave. You can just pack it on the way to work. It's very easy. So we got creatine monohydrate, high quality protein powder. This is aside from like a rich daily multivitamin that I would recommend taking with meal 1, breakfast. And again, like core nutritionals, NutriBio, New Ethics, formulations. There's a lot of companies that have a really good high dosed, appropriately dosed multivitamin, third-party tested, all that good stuff. Omega-3 fatty acids, fish oils with appropriate like EPA, DHA ratios.
It's good for the brain.
Very good for the brain, good for your triglycerides, cholesterol, all that good stuff.
Cholesterol is not bad, people.
Yeah, cholesterol is not bad, although we definitely want to keep, not like the total cholesterol number is more negatively looked at than like keeping LDL, HDL, and like recommended amount. But like total isn't bad. Like you need cholesterol. Your brain runs essentially is like surrounded by cholesterol. Like cholesterol is not a bad thing. You have to have it. So like taking a statin or something that just completely inhibits.
It's not the best.
Yeah.
I think some data's going to come out on that here soon. It's going to blow a lot of people's minds.
Dude, like I said, I'm a guinea pig and I'll try anything. My cholesterol was a little high, so I got on a statin. It was the worst I've ever felt in about 2 months. I came off of it. I just like mega dosed a bunch of fish oil and started running more. Ate healthier, dropped the red meat a little bit. I still eat red meat every day and whole eggs. Got my cholesterol naturally back perfectly within range. And the statins the fatigue, the muscle ache, the brain fog. It was like I had the flu. The worst. I don't know if the doctor I was going to just incorrectly dosed it, which typically happens.
It could be another podcast.
We could talk about that for hours, but
no disrespect to the medical industry.
Fish oil is great, and over 80% of the U.S. population doesn't get the appropriate amount of omega-3s that they need. And
you can get it naturally, obviously, from the sea, but then with all the mercury, you almost need like a good fish oil. What's the one that, I don't get that one, but it's the one that everyone used to get. It's got like the C on the front. It's like a blue label. It's, if I said it, like Carter's. It's one of the main ones you look up when it comes. I think that was a good one. But then there's a lot of like, the one where you take it and you automatically start burping up like a piece of fish.
That's the hardest, yeah.
Brothers or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, you definitely want the lemon burpless ones.
Yes.
That's the best way to go.
Yes.
Because the burps do suck.
Yeah.
But I'll take a little bit of burps here and there to be healthy and live to be 100.
There you go.
Vitamin D3.
Vitamin D3 is
critical
good.
For bone health.
With K2 or just D3?
With K2.
There you go.
With K2 for sure. It helps with the binding, the bioavailability of the D3, and being paired with the K2, so it helps with the overall absorption of it and the utilization of it.
You can actually, your body will take more of it.
Yeah, and again,
K2 kind of kicks the door open so the D3 can go through.
Yeah, great. That's a great analogy for sure.
Like a raid, like back in the day.
Yeah, 100%. And that's another one that I think 75-80% of the population is D3 deficient. We just don't. No one touches grass anymore. No one goes outside. I mean, it's so important to get some sunlight on the skin outside of work. I know, like especially in blue collar trades, when it's hot, it's hot. You're in a shop all day. You're in a boiler room. It's 105 degrees. You're at Swift. It's hot everywhere you go. Yeah. The last thing you want to do when you leave work is now go out into the sun. Vitamin D that we get naturally from the sun is usually completely just blunted by our life because we don't go out in the sun. It's the last thing we want to do. We get to work before the sun comes up. If we leave before it goes down, the last thing we want to do is get out in the sun when it's hot. Most of the time. I mean, that's me anyway. We sweat all day, go through 2 shirts at work, dual shielding, it's 100 degrees in the shop, dual shielding with a leather jacket on. When I leave work, going back out into the sun is definitely a task. So I understand. That's why I always put it on there because, again, like 80% of the population is deficient D3.
Yes.
It's super important for bone health, for your immune system, hormone signaling, for your sex hormones, testosterone, etc. It's very important for that. Your cardiovascular system, your heart health, important for that as well. And so it's linked worldwide with a lot of negative health issues that usually stems back to being D3 deficient.
These are facts, too. Like
I try.
It really is it's legit.
Yeah.
There's studies. I mean, I guess we can cite them if people need them, but there's a lot of, it's pretty common. It's not hard to find.
I had them on here. I was like, I don't think anyone's going to see my paper.
Probably
so I was like, I'm
we'll
just going to
see.
get rid
You
of
never
it.
know.
Yeah, I can always, provide all the links.
Goes well, we'll have you back and we'll do it right.
Yeah, love it.
Maybe we get some sponsors from some of the supplement places.
Well, hey, New Ethics formulations. If you do get something, Poly 10, save 10%. It helps everybody out. And then magnesium. So magnesium naturally gets suppressed, not only with physical stress of the work that we do, climbing up and down ladders, making field position welds, getting down a pit, getting down and dirty, like whatever we do on a daily basis. Like we have a laborious job. So, and we work long hours.
Yeah.
Stress. Outside of that, if we go to the gym, physical stress. Outside of that, something happens financially, financial stress. Loved one passes. Hey, you get some bad news on the phone about your health. Like anything. Like stress happens. It happens to everybody. Life happens. We just have to mitigate as much stress as possible and replenish magnesium that gets naturally suppressed through all that stress.
Yeah.
So that's a number one, I wouldn't say number one. That's one of my top 5 supplements as well. The magnesium glycinate paired with the glycine before bed really helps calm you down.
Yeah, I've been doing that for a couple of years now. It's great.
Yeah, helps you sleep.
Really
I mean, it's fantastic for sleep. Magnesium citrate helps with...
Now that's during the day, right? You would take the citrate during the day and the threonate.
I can't remember too much about the threonate. I'm comfy.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm rocking mine.
But the citrate helps with digestibility, breaking down. Let's say you have some just food in there that's not moving as it should. Sometimes I have clients, if they are a little backed up, I'll have them do magnesium magnesium citrate before bed after their last meal, and then also with meal 1 just to get some bowel movements going.
I got you.
So that's what helps with that. The glycinate helps. I take that before bed as well with just replenishing magnesium overall, has the glycine in it, maintains better body temperature, helps you sleep at night, etc. And then the threonate I know which one you're talking about. I don't know exactly specifically what that does.
Okay. The one you take at night, which one's that?
I take the glycinate.
Okay.
Glycinate. Yeah. But the citrate also as well.
There is a thionate or thionate, but I was
there is, yeah. But I can't remember exactly the mechanism of action for
Magnesium's
that.
good, though. And it's kind of up there with vitamin D as one of the underappreciated and
I would say underutilized for sure.
Underutilized, but it's something we don't have a lot of, you know what I mean, in our bodies that we need. So it's underproduced naturally, I guess, anymore. So because of certain circumstances of not being in the sun, not doing certain things.
Yeah, 100%. So those are my top 5. And we can take off with the next one, wherever you want to talk about.
Okay. Well, one more thing, too, we want to talk about is there's some hacks, too. It's not really a biohack, but little things you can do, like throughout the day. And again, working all day out in the field, this is probably going to sound ludicrous, but taking stairs.
Yeah.
Is you can, what that would do, going on a walk. There's nothing better. It's proven scientifically. I mean, I've literally had a conversation with the girls at the front desk the other day about it. Like a walk after a meal is like twofold, threefold, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like it's so amazing for your body, for your digestion, how it lowers insulin, all kinds of things it does for you. You know what I mean? It kind of almost makes your body start using that food immediately.
It's twice as effective as metformin for maintaining healthy blood sugar.
Yeah,
twice as effective. And metformin is a prescribed type 2 diabetic drug to keep blood sugar levels in a more healthy state. Keeping blood sugar low to normal is going to help utilize and burn up fat at a sitting state as well.
Yeah.
So we want our blood sugar to be in the healthiest state possible, also because it's linked to, not only diabetes, but Alzheimer's is essentially the type 3 diabetes is kind of what they're saying now.
Thank you for saying that.
Because
saying it here all the time. They look like I got 3 heads.
Well, it leads to brain fog. You think about it, if your sugar levels are extremely high, it leads to inflammation. That's where, diabetes can go so far as to losing extremities, fingers, toes. If you stay constantly inflamed, and
terrible disease.
Yeah, it's awful. It's very difficult, but we can mitigate it as much as possible through exercise, movement. Motion is lotion. The more you move, the better you feel.
Anything else?
Like you said, just daily hacks. Start slow. You don't have to start with, like I said earlier in the podcast, you don't want the all or nothing approach. Daily movement, park further away from the front doors of a grocery store.
I was going to say,
there's
a guy I go to the gym with, so I get there at 5:30 every morning, and he parks a considerable distance away. It's probably a good 100-yard walk.
There's no cars there.
No cars, and it's dude over by himself, and he's he's getting in good shape. And he's a bigger guy, but he's actually really starting to get, you can tell there's a difference. So proud of him. But he'll walk in every day, no matter if it's raining, snowing, and it's just what he does.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to challenge myself right off the jump before I even get in there and start moving weights. And it's because every little thing up, it's the compound interest we said. It's everything adds up.
Yeah, steps are very important. I try to start everybody off on 8,500 steps a day if they have a way to count steps. If not, we just regiment some cardio. It's not easy. It's surprisingly, a little more difficult than it seems. 8,000 steps a day, I can do that.
Not in the field.
In the field, it's
you
not.
Probably got about 16,000 steps a day, I would say.
Well, see, I'm in the shop, so I tell a lot of shop guys.
You still move around a lot, though.
Yeah, but I tell guys, I'm if you're in the shop, and now I work in the field on the weekends, so I'll get 20,000 steps at Swift.
Oh yeah.
But in the shop, if you stay in your booth welding, you're in one, 10 foot by 10 foot box essentially. Bubble. And you're not getting a ton of steps in, and you feel like you're tired at the end of the day. But realistically, if you step back and look at yourself, you haven't done a whole lot that day.
Yeah.
And now out in the field, and again, I know everything with life can compound into the fatigue, but we just have to find what that is per person individually, and then mitigate as much of that as we possibly can. But also, it's very important to be objective with yourself and step back and look at what you do on a daily basis. Because, like Rhino said, just that extra little bit can be the difference in you now and your goals.
Yeah. It all adds up, man.
100%.
That's it. Oh, now here comes biohack. I love some good peptides.
I do too.
And, and it is still kind of new, and obviously, you asked. I do think the healthcare industry is starting to come around. I know I've said some things to our wellness center. They're still poo-poo on it, but they'll come around. Like BP 157.
Yeah, fantastic.
The TB 500, which is the Wolverine stock, which I've taken numerous times, and I used to, play softball for the team, and I used to blow my hamstring. I mean, snap it not snap completely, but I'll blow it every year.
Done it twice.
Yeah, and it never came back. It would get better, but it was always like right there. And I would always have tennis elbow too by the end of the year. So I started taking that, and I've had no issues with my hamstring in 3 seasons, and I haven't had tennis elbow, which I'm probably about to jinx myself, in 5 years.
Gotta watch what we say here.
I know, right? That was always listening. But I mean, it really does work, and it actually heals these little micro tendons that kind of tear and get inflamed.
Yeah, and if you look into a bunch of like the peer research and like the FDA, and now doctors are starting to prescribe and utilize BPC 157, and they have for a while, like surprisingly. It's blown up the last couple of years, but it was most tested in rats before. So like the studies that have come out are the results that were like tested in rats.
Hey man, I'll be a guinea pig. Follow me.
Hey, yeah, exactly.
Give it to me.
But outside of that, anecdotally, for like tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people now, it has shown like mass improvements in not only lowering bodily inflammation, which is going to help with the tennis elbow, which is going to help with knee pain, any inflammation that you're going to have, shoulder, elbow, in any joint essentially. But it also helps with like repairing and almost renewing the connective and soft tissues of the body. Mm-hmm. So it's amazing.
It is amazing.
And
so what is it?
So what is it? So to be 100% correct.
Yes.
I'll read off my little thing here.
Yeah.
It's a synthetic fragment of natural gastric protein. So the body protection compound BPC 157 increases angiogenesis, which is the new blood cell formation. That's kind of what we were talking about. Collagen production, which helps again with nails, hair, your joints, connective tissue, etc. And growth survival signaling, which supports tendon, ligament, muscle, and bone healing. So bones stronger, tendons feel better, inflammation's lowered. It's a pretty fantastic compound, and when paired with TB500, it is just like you said, it's the Wolverine. Like
they give it that name for a reason. It's legit.
The Wolverine stack for sure. So it modulates nitric oxide pathways, reduces oxidative stress, and stabilizes neuromuscular junctions and some neurotransmitters, giving it an anti-inflammatory property and potential neuroprotective effects. So there's a lot of words there. So essentially, the nitric oxide pathways is what's going to be beneficial for like what beetroot powder does. The nitric oxide vasodilation, blood flow. That blood flow is going to help shuttle nutrients, open up capillaries, help like in a sense, I guess, could help with blood pressure as well, because if it's opening up capillaries, it's allowing, the restriction isn't there anymore, not forcing the heart to pump.
Yeah, the heart's, I mean, you imagine just any kind of, process piping system or any kind of, system. I mean, the pump is pumping your heart. Yeah. And the pipe is constricting, and it's trying to push so much pressure through. So, I mean, you're going to have problems, which is, usually when you have a heart attack, the heart's, I guess it can't pump any longer to be like, a cavitation, so you'd almost have to cut out and put a stent in that little area to let blood flow through again. And these things right here, are proven to help with that.
Yeah, help with that. For sure. And I would only guess when it comes to because I don't know exactly, and I don't know if it's been 100% proven yet, but the possible support for nerve function and reduced inflammation. No, not that, sorry. The neuroprotective effects. So I would only imagine neuroprotective, like cognitively, your brain essentially. Just the opening of those capillaries, vessels, etc., allowing more oxygen to flow, allowing more nutrients, water, everything that the blood carries, all the very important things that it carries throughout the body, the organs. That's what's going to help mentally, physically, in every aspect. Anti-inflammatory response, like everything is just great, really, under BPC, and I take it myself as well.
I've not seen a downside. Do you reconstitute it, or you do the pills?
And there is a benefit to, I don't know about the pills, but I think there's like an oral dropper. There is pills as well. I don't know which one is more beneficial, but it has profound gut health as well. I don't know if that's through the dropper again or the pill form, but BPC taken orally has shown a lot of benefits for gut health. Yeah. So I personally reconstitute and use in adipose tissue, which is fat tissue, and it just essentially knows where it needs to go and does its job, and it works tremendously.
Well, your body's putting a signal out, the elbow, I mean, it's like pinging, like sonar. You just go right to it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And bring all its buddies, all its white blood cell buddies with it. Let's go.
Advisable for those that do your own research.
We've studied a lot. I'm not telling someone to go out and get BPC 107.
Yeah, and all doctor recommended. You can go through hormone clinics and get it. You can go probably through your primary care. It's extremely beneficial, especially for those that need it. Yeah, surgery especially. Yeah. Now,
so the GLP-1, because that's the big thing, which was going to be your semaglutide, which is like Ozempic, and all your other ones. That's something that a lot of people, we've actually been running into an issue with as trustees on health and welfare lately, is that you can only get it if you have diabetes, and it's only based off a lot of certain markers. So your A1C's got to be a certain. I mean, there's a lot of things before you to get it. You can't just get it if you're obese or want to lose some weight, even though a lot of those things go hand in hand sometimes. Right. You can, but once your markers come down, they're supposed to, you're supposed to be off of it.
Come off of it, yeah.
Or else insurance isn't paying for it anymore. You got to kind of pay for it on your own.
Right, yeah.
So
now these are tricky little.
Yes.
A lot of benefits. Now it's funny for me to even talk about this subject because years ago I hated it. I hated it. I thought I looked at it as very negative. I thought and it is a shortcut. It's a shortcut because people, in my opinion, don't use it correctly. And I can talk about using it, how many days a week. I'm not going to talk about dosing or anything like that because, you should always go through your doctor. I do think it's great to bring up to your doctor the frequency in which you use a GLP-1. I'll get into it shortly about what it is exactly, not to the extent that you could find online. I'm sure there's so many different pathways, essentially mechanisms of action.
Is it an everyday thing?
I would recommend,
because like BPC is an everyday thing. At least that's how I did it.
I recommend at least 3 days a week, preferably.
Like
if
Monday,
you're like
Wednesday,
me,
Friday?
Yeah. If you're like me though, it's every day.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
The BPC or the GLP-1?
It would be both.
Okay.
Yeah, the BPC could be daily, and then
you.
the GLP-1, semaglutide, Ozempic, can be at least 3 days a week, and then if manageable, every day, in my opinion. And some would argue against what I'm saying just because like the half-life of the GLP-1 itself, and I understand the, let's say, of the GLP-1, let's say 12 to 14 days, whatever it is, like a HRT type thing. But you get so you get this bolus amount of a GLP-1. I'll talk about what it does. You're going to feel all the negative side effects of it right off the rip, and you're going to go 3-4 days with zero appetite, with nausea, it's going to work great with canceling out any cravings, any thought of food, all that good stuff, but also you're just not going to eat. You're not going to eat. But when that hunger comes back, and it comes back ravenously, so much, by that 5th or 6th day, when it starts to wear off in the body, and it goes away, and you're in such a hunger state, you're like, dude, I feel like I haven't ate anything in 2 years. Blow everything you just did the last 5 days. So that's where, in my opinion, start low and go slow.
It's like a microdose.
Every single, in a very small amount, compounded over the week. So let's say a doctor recommends, never going to argue with a doctor. I'm not a doctor. Not going to do that. From what I've read, anecdotally, what I've done, what I've seen, etc., let's say a doctor starts you off at 2 milligrams a week, 1 shot a week on, let's say, Sunday night. Like Monday, Wednesday's terrible. Thursday, you're starting to behave normally again. Friday, you actually start like having hunger sensations again, cravings, etc. 2 days before your next, then you're going crazy on Friday, Saturday. Completely reset everything. Take another shot on Sunday. Nausea at work. Now you have so much food sitting in your gastric, in your stomach, your systems, that isn't emptying because that's what the GLP-1 does. But if you're taking the most minute amount, microdosing, to hit that 2 milligrams, I would start with 1 or even lower, 700 mics, 500 mics, whatever, throughout the week. Small baby amounts every single day. Over the next 2 weeks, you slowly start to feel the benefits of it. You slowly start to feel the noise canceling of wanting different food. You have the benefit of the satiety, like the signaling to the hypothalamus that you're full. If you have that feeling, you're like, I could have sat down and ate 15 rolls of sushi. I just ate 5, I'm good. Like, you start to feel those benefits slowly. You don't want to feel everything all at once and just gastric shutdown. The gastric emptying at its all-time high right off the bat.
When we were, we prescribed testosterone at the wellness center now.
I could talk about that too.
But, these guys were going over and getting, or not these guys, sorry, the guys were going over, people I know, and they do a shot a month.
That's terrible for you.
And then so you bike And all of a sudden you're 15 years old again, you know what I mean? You're like chasing your wife down the hallway, you know what I mean? You're
great.
Feeling great, you're doing push-ups, and then, week and a half later, you're crying. You're like the dude in The Youngest Yard when they switch his stuff out, and he's like, well,
Yeah.
I mean, and then it's just the wave, and then you get it again, and it's back up, when you should just really take a dose at whatever they said for that amount of time, and you just break it down every other day or so.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just get plane out, and you just stay there where you want to be.
That has been proven as well.
100%.
That has been proven. Now, that's been practiced for 20 years now. Let's say, given older gentlemen, women even, if they don't go the pellets, the gel route, etc., they're doing the shots once every 2 weeks, once a month. You get these very undulating responses like Ryan was talking about, where test, you just gave yourself like a super physiological, like bolus amount of testosterone to last you for an entire month. And so, yes, your test for the next week goes high, you're feeling maybe better, like, yeah, doc, this feels great, this is working great. The body has a way of reaching homeostasis. So, like, your estrogen levels also have to maintain, like, a ratio with your testosterone, especially in men. So, test goes up because you just had your shot for the week. Your estrogen increases as well to maintain somewhat of a ratio with that. And then, as your testosterone tanks, that estrogen stays elevated. And you're going to feel all those negative sides of having estrogen not in a healthy range, with those undulating, not having the correct serum maintained throughout. Like we want to feel better and be optimal.
Yeah.
Feeling the negative side effects of estrogen is fatigue, food cravings, foggy brain, man boobs. I mean, nipples swell. That would be the proper way to say it. Normal and sustainable. The side effects of estrogen, little to none. I mean, almost zero, if any at all. Right. Easier to manage. If anything does pop up, your doctor can get right on top of it.
Easier to come off of it too.
Come off the test.
Yeah.
At that, I would assume at that point it would be something hormone replacement. You would stay on.
Right.
But I see what you're saying. Yeah, for sure. Like coming off of it would be easier if you had to medically.
Because I think they don't want you taking it if you're trying to conceive.
I could talk about that for hours. I just had a kid. I was a bodybuilder for like 10 years, so I could talk about fertility for...
All right.
And if
we do that in part 2.
Yeah, then maybe part 2. If anyone's out there interested and has been trying for a while, hit me up. I'll try to guide you in the right direction. But success on our end, thank the Lord as well. That's really above all, but I'd like to think I studied a good bit on that. Yeah, so going back to the GLP-1s, in my opinion, it's best to start low, go slow, and frequency. So you can really listen to your body, you can feel the effects of it without the overwhelming, just pouring in negative side effects. And I think that's why I hated it so much, because it was done so incorrectly at the beginning.
It's a cheat code. Just the way they used to look at, bros on, it's like, this dude's just juicing.
Yeah, right.
And some are, but the amount of work you have to put in, I mean, it's just
to make it beneficial.
It's like you can't just take a GLP-1 and just not do nothing and eat ho-hos all day. Actually, you can.
That's what was happening.
But it's supposed to be, if done right, it's like extra credit for all the hard work you're putting in. It's like, all right, I'm going to do all this hard work, and I'm going to get, a boost. It's like the little mushroom in Mario Brothers. It's like, all right, this is helping me out, but I still got to get to certain levels to get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
that's what was done so wrong. So let's say it was a ton up front. People still ate what they want, didn't exercise. So what was happening was not only the deterioration of like the density of our bones, so you're more fragile now because you just weren't doing anything. You're in a sedentary lifestyle. Now, was that already happening because you were sedentary before? Probably. But now you're in a starving state because you're not eating anything. 30% I think of like overall weight loss was like muscle loss, which is just detrimental to your health, your kidneys too. When your body starts breaking down its own muscle, it releases like this super toxic thing to your kidney. It's extremely hard to break down and can lead to like rhabdomyolysis. And that's where like essentially your kidneys are going towards like failure from overworking, essentially. I probably didn't explain that perfectly right, but rhabdomyolysis is the breaking down of too much muscle tissue and too tightly of a frame that is extremely detrimental to your organs. So that was what was going on. Now, when done correctly, the benefits of it, now that I've bashed on it for too long, the benefits can be significant.
Oh, yeah.
It can be. And we're going to talk about 2 different GLPs. There's a triple agonist I'm going to talk about, and then there's the regular like semaglutide. I think like a double agonist, which is tirzepatide, which was like one of the later ones, the more, I guess, like a different formulation of the semaglutide. And then we'll talk about the retatrutide or retatrutide. So what is it? It's a mimic GLP-1 glucagon-like peptide to enhance insulin secretion. That's why it's beneficial for diabetics. Essentially, the best analogy I can make with that is for a diabetic, let's say, or just for anybody, insulin secretion, it's going to increase that. You eat 50 grams of carbs in a meal. Let's say your pancreas pumps out 4 IUs of insulin. As an example, taking a GLP-1 will essentially signal to your body to pump more insulin. So it goes from 4 IUs to, let's say, 6, to keep blood sugar in a healthier margin. That's what was so beneficial for diabetics. And I think that's why you have
I've never heard that explained, so thank you for breaking it down.
You're welcome. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Good analogy.
Thank you. So that's, I think, why it's so profound in specifically the diabetic community or population.
Okay.
And why doctors would recommend that you are diabetic, because if not, let's say you go hypo taking a GLP-1, because now your pancreas was pumping exactly what it needed to. It's doing well. It's healthy. You're healthy. If it produces more insulin, your blood sugar drops down too low in the 50s. Let's hope it stays in the 50s. You can get that back up through glucose tabs, a couple of drinks, orange juice, whatever. But for diabetics, that's why it's so beneficial.
Okay. Yeah. That's the semi, or is that the retatrutide?
This is the semaglutide,
Ozempic.
Gotcha. And I'll explain that here in a second. The slow down of gastric emptying, essentially you're going to feel fuller longer, reduce appetite. I think that's the signaling to the hypothalamus that you're going to be full quicker when you eat a meal, and then just you're going to stay fuller longer, and that's just going to lead back to you're not going to have a huge appetite like you had before, because things are moving a little bit slower. And improve blood glucose control. It's kind of what we just talked about. The benefits, of course, clinically proven weight loss, glycemic control with the obesity population, and type 2 diabetics. So I can go into it more. That's kind of like the cliff notes of it. And now I just want to talk about, in contrast with a triple agonist like retatrutide, really quick. So, excuse me. Whoa. So like Ozempic, retatrutide is a triple agonist. So it not only works with the GLP-1 pathways, it also works through the GIP and the glucagon pathways. These do a couple different things. I'm not going to perfectly explain everything, but in short, it is going to burn fat and utilize fat loss more efficiently. It helps retain more muscle during that hyper fat loss state that you're going to put yourself in, and have the same benefits of controlling your insulin sensitivity, which is extremely important. It also has shown it could be in both, the neurological benefits of it, like mentally, because, like I said earlier, they're kind of calling Alzheimer's like a type 3 diabetic pandemic, essentially.
Sugar in the brain.
Sugar in the brain. So if we're not insulin sensitive, essentially like if our body isn't pumping the adequate amount of insulin to control blood sugar in the bloodstream, obviously, in the body, then pancreas isn't working correctly. Our brain is full of sugar, which is causing brain fog, memory loss, inadequate, thinking, processing, all that stuff. That's speculation. That's my speculation as well. And that's why I think they're saying it's linked to neurological benefits. That's just me guessing there. But the GLP-1 component.
Is that safe for women too?
Yes. Now, it's a newer. Are these more safe for one than the other? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's a very individualistic, and kind of everything I'm talking about.
We're not giving advice. This is something that people have no clue exists.
Yeah.
So then go talk to your doctor about it, or go do your own studying, honestly.
And the red is pretty new. I don't think any doctor is going to really recommend it right now. They're going to always go back to the tirzepatide, semaglutide, Mounjaro, I think is another one. There's so many different ones out there. I don't even know if I want to throw any shade out here. I'll stop there. But
looking into on your
it's worth looking into. And if you go to a doctor that recommends semaglutide, you had terrible side effects from it to the point of nausea, can't work, etc. Then if they recommend tirzepatide and then that doesn't work, they're going to recommend Mounjaro. I have a coworker going through it right now. A lot of times people throw stuff at a wall to see what sticks. You don't need to do that. With a little bit of research, reach out to the right people. Maybe you can mitigate a lot of that guessing in the process, and it can lead to faster results and you not going through these crazy nights of constipation, nausea, just terrible side effects, because they can be unicorns in the supplement peptide industry if utilized correctly.
Okay.
And they can be safe for both sexes for sure. Retta is the newer triple agonist peptide, I guess, that has come out. So it's fun to look into. Not something you're probably going to get prescribed for yet, but they're working on it. And then,
be on the lookout.
Yeah, semaglutide and stuff. You could probably talk to your doctor if you have a blood sugar issue, fasting, insulin issue, A1C, etc.
Okay.
Definitely want to get that in a healthy range. But those are some things that can help, again, utilized correctly.
So, all that being said, with all this info we just gave out, you're probably going to have some people interested in getting a hold of you, as far as coaching, as far as something like that. Is there a way to get a hold of you? I mean, just like, they call here, can I give your number?
Yeah, I mean, feel free to call the hall.
Can they look you up?
Look me up on just Facebook, Instagram. That's all I have. I'm not a TikTok guy, not a X guy now, or whatever they call it. Just Robert Pawley, Pawley. Call Rhino, call the hall, whatever. I could maybe throw you a couple business cards if everyone comes down here. Would love to help. I mean, that's what I'm here for.
Because, you do meal prep, you do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You are like a one-stop shop for diet, nutrition, workouts.
I do try my best. I try not to be, I wouldn't say I know all the answers, and I hope I prove that tonight. If I don't know something, I'm just going to be honest about it. I could be wrong about a couple things I said. I'm totally fine with being wrong and humbled in that manner. When it comes to meal prepping, when it comes to macros, daily caloric intake, more output than input, that's going to be weight loss, how your macros are set up. I've been in the game a while. I've had tons of success with clients that went to the stage, with, just buddies of mine back in high school that got up to over 300 pounds, that lost over 100 pounds. So just overall wellness, well-being. And then if you want to step into the realm of peptides a little bit for just that little extra boost near the end of maybe a 3-month training session with me or whatever, then that's something we can look into as well. But we start slow. Everything's individualized with your schedule as well, whether we got to train in the mornings, in the afternoons, carve out a little bit of time. If we train 3 days per week, if you want to be the person that trains 5-6 days per week, as long as we're recovering well and we can push the envelope. From power lifters, bodybuilders, overall wellness, just want to live to be 100, I'm here for you, and I'll try my best. I learned so much with everyone I work with, athletes, and I love it. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to meet new people. So it's a lot of fun. I truly have a passion for it, and I just want to be here for everybody.
I think if most people took on this challenge, I think, and not even just with you, but just in general on their own journey, if you just really invested in yourself to see how far you can go on your own, I think you'd be surprised. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. And I mean, with how you look, how you feel.
It's amazing.
Sleep, confident. I mean, it's just everything. It's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you start to see the definition and the lines and all that good stuff appear, and it becomes really addicting.
Intoxicating, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a whole thing, but, it's a lifestyle, but it's not a bad lifestyle. And it beats the other lifestyle of eating shit and not doing anything. You know what I mean? It's like, so.
I tell people, like when they want to talk about finances or something negative about just this lifestyle. So many health supplements, it's expensive. Gym membership with this and this and this, and coaching on top of it. I'm like, it's not more expensive than going to the ER. It's not more expensive than an ambulance trip to the hospital. It's not more expensive than prescriptions and medical bills and et cetera that compound over time. And if you cut back on the junk food, going out to eat, and alcohol, you're saving. I promise you, I've done the math with guys at work. It's over $1,000 a month. I promise you. I've done the math a million times. It always equates to going out to eat and alcohol. Those two things, you're saving over $1,000 a month. I've done it several times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So
it really is.
Yeah.
Awesome. Before we go, what is your kind of like your workout? Because these last 3 years, I've been just strictly kettlebells. Love them. Swear by them. Changed my life. I mean, but I used to love, bench, squat, military. I mean, that was like the game forever. Dumbbells, barbells, and I just kind of evolved because I wanted to move more. I was
right.
And I really wanted mobility was going to be the goal, and how I could put weight into mobility work.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I transitioned into that. I mean, do you ever kind of go that route, or do you strictly conventional? Or
I guess like any other, maybe I wouldn't say retired bodybuilder. I might hit the stage again one day, but I had a kid. My vision changed. I went from trying to be 240 at 5'6" to I'm like 210 right now. And not to be boastful, I just like to be very cut up. I'm very lean right now. I feel really good. And my training has changed from trying to push as much weight as possible. I used to press 180-pound dumbbells for reps. It's a little brag right there, I'll be honest.
It's a humble brag.
Yeah, humble brag. To now, I don't go anything above maybe 120s. I keep rep ranges really high. 3 sets, maybe 3 exercises per muscle group for the day. My training sessions went from 2 hours a day down to maybe an hour.
Which is nice too.
Very nice.
So much still intense. I mean, you definitely don't walk out of there like, man, I really didn't get it today.
Yeah.
But like you said, when you do the huge, all that weight, you got to have some time in between sets. You got to, it's
so
group of guys congregating around there with you.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone gets their turn.
Yeah.
Chalk everywhere.
Yeah, I train alone. I train 45 minutes to an hour a day. I keep rest periods extremely low, just one after another, set after set.
Keep the heart rate up.
Keep the heart rate up, metabolic rate up. And then I do my fasted cardio for heart health overall. Helps with getting the meals down throughout the day as well, though, and utilizing that extra protein or whatever I'm eating. And extremely safe. I've had so many injuries. Never flat press anything. I will never get under another squat bar again. I don't completely abuse myself on the leg press anymore. I'm just lifting very smart. Yeah. And my body's growing. I feel great. I'm seeing great progress. It might have been something I needed the whole time because really listening to myself and focusing on recovery too. Proper sleep. It's like the first time I've done that in my life, and I've just realized how powerful that is with just not only hormone production, but recovery for your muscles, just mentally feeling sharper, better throughout the day. Just focus on health.
Yeah. So. I like it.
Yes, sir.
Good, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
This is good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
We'll be good. We'll do it again. We'll run it back. Maybe we'll go do like a pod on the road. We'll go do some workout and see if I can hang with yours and see if you can hang with mine.
Yeah. Oh, you would destroy me with kettlebells. You would destroy me. But last thing, I don't know if it's a good idea for you, but if for those that listen to this, maybe we can, if it's posted, ask for some questions that we can maybe rattle off.
Yeah, we can do a mailbag or something next time.
Yeah, so, just have a couple printed out and we'll hit it. Yeah.
I like it. Awesome. Thank you, guys. See you next time.
Thank you.